Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about native stablecoins. You may have seen a few announcements over the last few months of USDT and USDC both starting to support near native stablecoins. For this video, we will be focusing specifically on the USDT native, as it is the one that has had more integrations with Binance, KuCoin, SwiftX, ChangeNow, among others. By the end of this video, you should be a master stablecoin user, and along the way, I'll also be sharing my near thesis and why stablecoins are barely just starting to scratch the surface. Let's jump in. What are stablecoins? As the name implies, a stablecoin is a digital asset on the blockchain, a token, a coin, whatever you may want to call it, that matches, or it's meant to match one-to-one, a dollar or any other real currency or fiat asset. As some people that are not Web3 natives may point out, the stablecoins are not actually very stable. And this is where the nuance comes in. So there's different types of stablecoins. A dollar is a dollar, not a dollar. The first type, which is the one I will be focusing on, is the one that I would call a real stablecoin. This first type of stablecoin, you have a real dollar in a bank account or a trust fund held by a company, and they issue and redeem these dollars. Namely, if you transfer them dollars, they will issue an equivalent amount of the stablecoin. And if you send them the stablecoin, they will also honor that digital asset and give you the equivalent in dollars to your bank account. In this category, there's a few. There is USDT, issued by some company in the Bahamas. There is USDC, issued by Circle, that has been acquired by Goldman Sachs. The second type of stablecoins, which you don't have to focus on this video, would be asset-backed stablecoins, such as DAI. All I'm going to say is USDT has had FUD for as long as I've been alive. And USDC is highly regulated in New York, and even after recent DPEGs, they came out saying, look, we can cover any holes if there were any. The issue there with was, I think, Silvergate Bank or one of those banks going under and them having some assets there. There were, for about 48 hours, concerns about them suddenly not having the cash at hand to be able to honor requests. But guess what? This is where we find out that issuing stablecoins is actually a fantastic business, because you're taking in billions of dollars and there is zero expectations for you to give any type of returns to people. You're simply holding it. But as it happens, terms and conditions, you can actually allocate this money to a wide range of investments, including bonds and paper like USD denominated. It was a little bit of a tangent to say USDT and USDC are regarded as generally safe. Not financial advice, do your own research. So, moving on. What problem are stablecoins are trying to solve? If we already have USD and bank accounts, why would anyone want stablecoins? Stablecoins are fascinating because there are many different customer segments. I personally like the developing nation customer segment. I grew up in Venezuela. I actually lived in Argentina for 6 months. If you look at countries with high inflation, unstable local currencies, and there's a bunch of countries in that category, the USD is still pretty good. If you're living in a fancy hipster loft in Brooklyn, maybe it doesn't make much sense. Or if you're in the top VC elite in Silicon Valley, maybe you are of the mind that the USD is going down the drain. But the truth is, the USD is only as bad as the other shit currency that you compare it to. And for most people that are working very hard, that they just want to protect their money against inflation, they just want to have some savings, they just want to be safe from a very unpredictable and intrusive government, USD is still great. So here's where we start to see the challenges of accessing banking. There are billions of dollars in cash in Argentina. I've met so many people that have bank accounts in countries where they physically cannot visit because they don't have a visa, or they have bank accounts that are absolutely robbing them blind with monthly fees, fees for breathing, fees for receiving money, fees for spending money, fees for asking them about the fees that they're charging you. Like, it is really a very predatory market. So my view for stablecoins is we could really bank hundreds of millions of people around the world that just want a simpler way to transact in a more stable currency. There are, of course, other users for stablecoins, such as people trading online. At some point, you may want to be able to take some profits and know that you have a specific amount of dollars that you've earned. This is where it is very easy to go from crypto to stablecoin, and then you may be timing the market and you jump back into crypto. Also, stablecoins have become the lifeline of things like lending markets. You may have 100 million worth of Ethereum and suddenly you're like, hey, I want to buy a Tesla. but I don't want to sell my Ethereum, maybe. So you can just borrow, and it's a beautiful conduit to match people in Argentina that may have some USDC, some USDT. They want to earn some money on their savings. They can lend money to someone else in these decentralized lending markets and earn some healthy interest on it. And here is where we enter into my near thesis. Why have stablecoins not taken off yet? To me, it's pretty simple. Any product or service on Web3 is only as good as the user experience. Let's think about this. The cost of switching to a new product, service, or technology is proportional with either the amount of value that the new product and service is creating for you and or how bad is the problem. So if the product or service is not very good and if there's friction, but the problem is really bad, you'll still do it. But if the problem is and the product and service is, no one's going to switch. And this is probably where we are now. I can't say that stablecoins have not had adoption. It's actually growing exponentially. But the reality is, not in the customer segment that I mentioned. We're still in the crypto native crowd. There's been some early indications that validate my thesis, but before that, let's start looking at issuance. Stablecoins have traditionally been issued on Ethereum. However, something really interesting happened with USDT. Back in the day, USDT started issuing on the Tron blockchain. And if you've been around crypto for a long time, you know that Tron doesn't particularly have a good reputation. Justin Sun, the founder, is a bit of a controversial character. But when I was speaking to a family friend in Venezuela, he told me that they were transacting in USDT on Tron, and I couldn't believe it. He told me it's easy. If you transact USD on Ethereum, very expensive, but on Tron, it's free. So that's when you start to see that, okay, there were some early steps to bring down the price point. And by the way, USDT has been very proactive in expanding to other blockchains, including Solana, Phantom, Avalanche, you name it. They're basically everywhere. They honestly don't care. They're not blockchain maxis. They just want to be available on whichever blockchain may offer them adoption. And here is where things get interesting. A native stablecoin refers to the use case where the issuer, in this case Tether or Circle, issue the stablecoin directly on one blockchain. When the dollar comes in, they get a choice on where that dollar gets minted. Most of it is on Ethereum, Tron, or Solana, or now Near protocol. This is important for two reasons. The first one is stablecoins are available everywhere, but in most cases, it is available as a bridged asset. A bridged asset is when I take an Ethereum native asset and I bridge it over. And here we have a second degree of separation. So first we have the stablecoin issuer issuing on Ethereum. That's degree 1. But then there is a bridge somewhere taking the asset on Ethereum and minting a new asset on a separate blockchain. That 2 degree of separation means that the issuer, namely Tether or Circle, will not recognize the asset on the second blockchain. As a rule of thumb, if possible, you always want to have the native asset on the blockchain that you know does not have a bridge smart contract risk and will always be honored by the issuer. So let's go into USDT native on the Near protocol. Why am I bullish about this? Simple. What happens if you can combine all the benefits and the stability of the dollar with very low cost of transacting and the ability to have really good user experience? This is a trifecta. This is what has been missing in the past. I'll be making more videos around the user experience on Near because I literally get off at night on this. Whoa, damn. But it's a truth. And that's how you get an OG Soulbound token. But now for real, there's 2 very important things that we need to know about native USDT on Near protocol. The first one is how to identify if there is a native asset or a wrapped asset. This is very important because at the moment, most of the USDT on Near and Aurora are all wrapped assets from Ethereum, and all the big exchanges such as Binance, KuCoin, etc. that support USDT on Near only support the native version of USDT. So we got to be able to convert and plan accordingly. Easiest way to know is the naming convention on the application. Wrapped USDT is USDT-e, and USDT native is just USDT. But just in case, if you're ever in doubt and some applications or some exchanges such as Binance may not have the same naming convention, you can always look at the actual smart contract. So the USDT.e smart contract, which is a wrapped one from Ethereum, is a longer name, .bridge, something. That means that USDT.e has been issued by the Rainbow Bridge as assets were being ported over. And USDT native is USDT whatever. It's a very short name. I'll put the name somewhere up here. And finally, it is likely that over time we will see that migration from wrapped to native, but for now, if you want to swap between USDT native and USDT wrapped or USDT.e, there are two places that you can go to. The first one is Rev Finance. Rev Finance is a go-to place for DeFi on the Neo protocol. They've been around for the longest, deepest liquidity, and in general, very good product, solid team. Disclosure, I am in the community board. But the second one, which is the new kid in the block, and I must say, I'm actually really enjoying their liquidity, and I've been getting better exchange rates from them recently, is VEAX, or VAX. I don't know exactly how to say it. So I would definitely recommend you to check out both. If you would like to support this channel, I will be leaving some referral codes below for some of these exchanges. So if you haven't signed up already, it costs you nothing and it support independent content creators. Friends, this is all from me. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.